you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you want to land a job as an AI audio engineer or researcher. If that's the case, stick around until the end of this video because I'm going to share 5 strategies that you can use to increase the likelihood that you're going to land a job in this space. Over the last few years, I recruited a bunch of AI audio specialists. This put me in a very privileged position because I had to interview a bunch of wannabe AI audio music engineers, and I had also to review their applications. And I noted something interesting. Many of these applications had a lot of flaws, recurring mistakes that actually diminished the likelihood for these people to land a job. Indeed, one thing that I usually say to the people who want to get into this space is that getting into this space is probably at the same time the easiest thing to do and the most difficult thing to do. Well, that sounds paradoxical, doesn't it? Well, it is really not that paradoxical because in order to land a job in this space, you have to sort of build a lot of very advanced skills. You have to know about AI, a lot about audio processing, a lot about music theory, for example, if you are into music information retrieval or generative music. So these are things that take a lot of time to develop. But there's a very good side of it, which is that the competition is not extreme. There aren't many people who have all of these skills. So this is an advantage. But more than that is that the majority of these people who actually have the skills and put together applications are not really good at putting good applications. So if you know how to put a job applications well, then your chances of getting a job, of course, if you have the right skills, is going to just skyrocket. Okay, without any further ado, let's get started with this suggestion. Suggestion number 1, ask yourself, is this the right job role for me? This may sound even a stupid suggestion, but it is not, because in my experience recruiting people, you can't just count the amount of people who are just putting together applications, sending applications for job roles that they can't possibly get. I'll give you an example. Say a job offer says that this is a senior position and you have to have at least 5-year experience as an AI audio engineer already in the industry. Well, that means that if you have just graduated, you can't possibly get that job. But this is something that happens all the time, people putting in or submitting applications for job roles that they can't possibly get. Now, don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean that if you don't check all the requirements in the job offer, you can't apply. Well, actually you can and you should definitely apply. But if you start saying that more than 50% or 40 to 50% of the requirements that you've been asked to have, you don't have, then probably that's a sign that this is not the right job role for you. And if you put in an application, what's going to happen is that you're going to waste time and you're going to waste the recruiter's time. Strategy number 2 is keeping your CV short and to the point. Ideally, you want to have a 1-page resume, maximum 2 pages. Now, you may be thinking, but are there so many people applying with very long CVs? Well, I can tell you that is the case. Definitely when I was dealing, for example, with research positions. Researchers tend to do this quite a lot. So they can send you CVs with 6, 7, 8 pages. But the problem with that is that as a recruiter, I really don't have time to get through all of those details. It's way preferable to have a very short and to the point CV with 1 page where you just tell me all of your achievements and great things. Now, if I want to learn more about you, I'm going to just contact you and we're going to have a one-to-one interaction. But please don't overcrowd your CVs because otherwise these are not going to be effective. Strategy number 3 is writing a personalized cover letter to the point. You can't tell the amount of cover letters that I received that were absolutely impersonal, very generic, that didn't address the most important points in the job offer. The cover letter is a great opportunity for you to let the recruiter understand how your skills and your experience match all the requirements of a specific job role. that you want to get. So just use this opportunity, don't waste it. And this is something that very, very few people do, at least in my experience. So try to write a compelling cover letter. Strategy number 4 is share your GitHub page. You're applying for a highly technical job and code should be your bread and butter. I don't want to know about how amazing of a coder you are on paper. Just let me see your code. I want to see your weaknesses and your strengths as a coder, but it's important that you have an up-to-date GitHub page, that you have some amazing code there and that you share it. You would be surprised by how many applicants don't share their code, or even worse, don't have a GitHub page. Strategy number 5 has to do with the technical challenge that most of the time you'll have to submit as part of this interview process when getting or trying to get a technical job. Now, when you get a technical challenge, most of the time you're going to get some instructions, and these instructions can be more or less precise, more or less detailed. What I usually get with these technical challenges is solutions that absolutely ignore or don't follow the instructions. This may seem mesmerizing, but it's actually the case. I can say that probably 80 to 90% of the people don't follow the instructions that they are given. And that is a problem, because this basically means that to me, to the recruiter, you're not able to follow certain instructions and to actually convert them into code. So this is like a very, very easy fix, because all you have to do is to follow the instructions and implement things and deliver things as they've been asked. And here you have 5 strategies that are very simple, but at the same time are very effective to increase the likelihood of getting a job as an AI audio engineer. Of course, I've just covered the tip of the iceberg here. There are a bunch of other topics in this space that I haven't covered. So if you have something in mind specific that you want me to cover, please do leave it in the comment section below. One thing that I'd like to cover in the future are interviews and how to do them in the best way possible. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If that's the case, please leave a like and consider sharing the video in order to help the Sound of AI channel. I'll see you next time. Cheers for now.